We're just coming into prime time. The sun's starting to set and these fish should start biting anytime. So we're just getting out, we're just getting set up. This is my last tip up going in. I just wanted to put together a quick video on how I set my tip ups. I've been fishing with a number of different people over the last few years, and I see a lot of guys that are really reliant on their electronics for setting their tip ups. What they'll do is come out, grab their tip up, right? So what they'll do is come out, grab their tip up, hook that minnow on, and then they'll send that minnow down, and they'll use their, or rely on their electronics to see how far off the bottom they are. And then they'll, once they get that tip up where they want it, what they'll do is just crank it up or down, and then they'll set that tip up, right? So problem with this is now a fish comes along and you get, some of those days where you're getting, a fish that's non-committal, and they'll grab that bait and maybe run out a foot of line. Every time you get a flag, you've got to come over and reset it with your electronics. So there's a so much easier way to do it. If you've been in a bait shop in Minnesota, Wisconsin in the last 20 years, undoubtedly you've seen a bucket of these next to every register in each one of those bait shops. And what these are is a depth finder, right? If you're an ice fisherman, you probably know what these are, but if you're new to it and you're working tip ups, this is how you use them. What you do with these is, when you're setting your tip ups, what you want to do is you take this depth finder and you hook that on your hook, and then what you do is just send that down, right? Send that down, and when that hits to the bottom, it stops. So pinch your line, that represents the bottom. And in this particular body of water, I'm fishing about 18 to 20 inches off the bottom. It's not real cloudy water, but it's not real clear either. So I want to be in the bottom third of that water column. So go about 18 to 20 inches down, and then I've got a button on my line I set. So now I can bring this up, right? Clip this on my shirt. I'll inevitably lose about 3 or 4 of these every ice season because I leave them on shirts or they end up at the bottom of the lake. But all right, so grab ourselves a minnow here. Forgot my minnow net today, so my hands are gonna be cold. But so now get that minnow down, send him down. Now all I have to do is wind that mark or button or whatever you're using. Some guys like to use a little bobber or a split shot, but all I do then is, in this case, like I said, I'm using a button. I just wind that button up to the guide on my tip up, set that flag, and we're good. And I don't need to have my electronics every time I get a bite, right? I get a bite on this, I can come, tend the flag, catch a fish or not. Maybe it's a minnow trip, right? All I've got to do is just reel that button right back up to the end of the guide, and I'm good to keep fishing. So that is the quickest, easiest way to set your tip ups, and you're not reliant on electronics. So thanks for watching. I hope this helped.